And welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of What If Goku was born, or had Ikari since, sorry, there's a pillow there. I had Ikari since Dragon Ball, since the beginning. So last time we left off in the last time with the Dragon Ball Z What If. I don't do that voice as much anymore. Last time, we left off with Raditz coming to Earth, kidnapping Gohan. Piccolo and Goku kind of teamed up. Goku is stronger in this version, but his base form still isn't really much that it could handle Raditz. Piccolo couldn't help that much either, even though he's also a degree stronger as well. But ultimately, Goku showed off his Ikari form and completely turned the tides, scaring Raditz off, giving him a chance to run away, but letting him know that Vegeta and Nappa would be there in probably a year's time. And so he went off. That leaves us now, and then Piccolo said, all right, you better get stronger. It's like, you're going to train with us? Hell no! And so he left. So now Goku ultimately has to break the news to Chi-Chi that he's got to pretty much spend the entire year training and all that. Sorry. I know I should be working on the radish farm, but, world needs to be safe. And it's Chi-Chi. She's not going to be very happy about that. She's happy to go on safe, but ultimately she's like, what the? No, Goku, no. It's like, what's more important, your son or the world? It's like, and then it goes like, well, if the world's destroyed, then that means you and Gohan are destroyed, right? And Chi-Chi's kind of like fuming because it's like, well, that's true. It's like, I won't allow it, because we've seen Chi-Chi, particularly in Dragon Ball Super, be adamant about him not doing it. Despite the fact that everyone makes the valid point, like, yeah, if Goku doesn't get stronger, someone like Beerus or worse comes along, we're screwed. It's like, and I don't care. It's like, what is wrong with you? Ultimately, for say, well, I guess we'll just do this game again later on. It's like, there's something wrong in that head of hers. It's not as bad here, but I do see that happening. And I think it would get to the point where Goku basically has to do something I don't think we've ever seen Goku do, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's had to do it at least once or twice. Is he actually has to stand up to Chi-Chi. And he actually goes, Chi-Chi! And it's like, and Chi-Chi's not used to him raising his voice to her. So, and Goku has to say, I don't understand, Chi-Chi. I was able to stop Bardock, my brother, but these guys are as strong as you say. Even my power, even as strong as I am right now, it's not going to be anywhere near enough. I have to do this, Chi-Chi. For you and Gohan, I have to. And Chi-Chi, she's still a little angry, but now she's more just concerned about her husband's safety. I don't want to lose you. It's like, that's why. It's like, that's why I had to train, so I can come home to you guys. And then she finally just wraps him in a hug, and it's very nice and sweet. But he ultimately says, all right, it's like, I'll stay tonight. We can have a good family dinner in time, and maybe it's like, maybe a little you, a little me, huh? Maybe make a little Goten land down the line tonight, huh? You, me, baby. Anyway, it's like, God, I'm such a child. But anyway, they have a nice night as a family together, and then he leaves to go train with everyone. Now Piccolo's training on his own. Let's actually get Piccolo right out of the way. Piccolo's power, it's roughly around where I left it. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it was like 450. I think I left it maybe even 500. No, 500. I think it was 500. And if I wasn't, we're going to say it was. Just for easy maths. So we know Piccolo actually got like a ×8 multiplier during the year time skip during the training period for the Saiyans. And that's what they've been having to focus on Gohan too. His primary focus wasn't solely on himself. With his power solely being on himself, I usually contest he can easily get a 10, 12, maybe even 15 times multiplier. And add on to the fact he's already been upping his training to try to compete with Goku, I think a 15 times multiplier is more than reasonable. And this is him not really wanting to get involved with the group at all. So that puts him at 7,500. That puts him right around where I believe Nappa's full power actually lies. And again, just to reiterate, the Daizenshu only puts it at 4,000. We know he powered up after Goku initially beat the crap out of him. And Goku was still holding the edge, but was not about to make the, think grammar here. Was going to make it when Nappa was charging Gohan and Krillin. That's why he, used the Kaioken. Again, there's no proof to that, but I think that does add up at least my head canon that adds up. So that's where Piccolo's going to end up. With Goku and the gang, it's very different. Goku gets there, explains, what the kind of training they can do up here. There's the Pendulum Room, and then Goku contemplates telling him about the hyperbolic time chamber, but he actually doesn't bring that up. He says when the guys go to try the pendulum, he says, I guess gotta talk to Kami for a bit. Popo will lead you here. Why didn't you tell them about the time chamber, Goku? Which is a fair point. Why didn't he? I actually can understand why Kami didn't tell them about the time chamber initially. He just didn't think they were ready. But I guess Kami saying, like, you were about to tell them about the time chamber. I'm wondering, what stopped you? Goes like, the time chamber is a really effective tool. But they're not ready for it right now. Hell, I wasn't even ready for it as a kid. Let's wait till we train up trained up in a lot of time, and then we'll see about using it. I've only got one. You've only have one more time in there, Goku. I know. That's why I want to wait. Anyway, time to get in that pendulum room, and so they go into the pendulum room. Now, the average Saiyan warrior, if I'm not mistaken, is around 1,000 to 2,000. That's your average Saiyan warrior. Most of your low class Saiyans are much lower, around 500 or lower. Somewhere between 500 and 1,000 is your above lower. Your average Saiyan somewhere like in the neighborhood about 1,000 to 2. Radids is considered a low class Saiyan, but an average warrior overall. Nappa and Vegeta Nappa's considered an elite, and Vegeta is considered a super elite. Now, Bardock's power level in the Bardock series is clocked at 9,500. In Super's canon, we know the continuity has changed there. However, as far as we know, especially because we look a little bit at the manga, which I don't usually go to the manga for this, but we do know that the whole Bardock actually did end up saving Granola, one of the characters currently in the most recent arc at some point. It was him or his family. So for the sake of argument, let's just say Bardock's power does still stay around this power it is in the special, 9,500. Now, why do I bring Bardock in this? Well, I would say around 3 months into the training, around a quarter of the year gone, the gang's using the pendulum room, whatever other training methods are available to them, training, getting stronger. Goku's there too, so it allows them to actually pit themselves against Goku in his Ikari form, which actually gives them some really good training. Right at the gate, I think all of them are kind of hitting around a ×3 multiplier. Tien's the only one whose power level is probably a little higher than average, around 300, because he's, again, trying to compete with Goku. Goku, though, doesn't just train with them. He does go into the pendulum room himself. This allows him to train against the fake Saiyans and even higher grades of power. So he's actually getting much stronger, much quicker, as we saw when he, went to King Kai's. He was able to really improve his strength quickly. Granted, he had 10 times gravity to train with, but the point remains. So, whereas the other guys are around ×3 at this point in time, because they're able to get stronger quicker with Goku there, Goku's actually probably around a ×5 his base right now. So and if I remember correctly, his base is around 660 roughly. I believe I did like 60% what it was, so he was at 400, which would put him at 640. Let's just say 650 for even numbers, or easy numbers. So that puts him, when you do the multiplication there, at about 3,300. So why did I bring Bardock up? Well, he's going through stronger opponents, and the pendulum room's very weird. It's not truly explained how that works, or even if this is actually canon, by the way. But I'm using it. Dragon Ball, hold on. DBZ pendulum room. Come on. DBZ pendulum room. Pendulum room. Here we go. I just want to see how this exactly works. Because I guess, and I'm still going to go with what I have in mind from the start. I might just have to adjust it slightly. After a half a year overcoming emotional and physical hardship, Gohan is finally being trained. Okay, that doesn't matter. He transports them 100 years to the past in the middle of a long since ruined Saiyan City. TNG and the others, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, yeah, the pendulum room. Oh, this is the actual name. I'm looking for the actual room. Hold on. He transports the pendulum room. Here we go. How does this work? Is a room formerly known as a time room, in a room that allows a person or person's mind to journey through time. So that's basically what they did. is that they set their mind through time, although apparently you can't go in time as well. Numerous clocks and portals to the past will open on one of the falls the user wish to travel back in time. DVD the pendulum was named the huge pendulum swinging back and forth. Let's see. The time travel of the pendulum does not alter any past events, as the interaction that the characters sent back have never actually happened as a function, more like an interactive vision to the past. So there isn't actually any true time traveling going on. It's just, time traveling your mind, your physical essence, you fighting. This is still great training for Goku. Well, after really getting his strength up, he ends up going to a planet, and he's wondering what's going on here. He's seeing a wasted land, and all of a sudden he hears someone call out to say, "Who are you?" And it's like, and why are you wearing that? Why are you wearing that, grunt? And Goku turns and he sees and he's actually a little surprised. He sees a guy that looks just like him. There's standing Bardock, his dad. And he's like, what's your name, Saiyan? He's like, my name's Goku. What's yours? He's like, I'm Bardock. He's like, I'm Bardock. I've never heard of you. And I'm familiar with a lot of the recruits. Like, you knew, and they're kind of just like towing back and forth each other. Like, get those robes on some new planet there, boy. And again, Goku just doesn't know how he recognizes this guy. But something about it, because we saw in Super, he did see his parents. He has at least that deep memory of their appearance. So, Bardock's kind of cracking wise a little bit. It's like, well, I've got this planet taken care of. There, you should probably head back. It's like, head back. I'm not going anywhere. It's like, you threaten this planet? It's like, threaten it? Oh, come on, look. We all conquer. We all threaten. What are you? Some sort of wuss or something? You don't want to fight me, kid. It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah, I really do. And Goku's powering up to his full base power. Meanwhile, Bardock's has a scouter. I was like, oh, you're a lot stronger than the average grunt. Who exactly are you? It's like, you're no average Saiyan, but you're no match for me, kid. And Bardock comes in, and boom, just clocks Goku. Just, it's like, told you. And then Goku suddenly comes back in with a blast, and Bardock just Goku comes in, actually cracks him, and they're duking out. Now Goku is the superior fighter because he has had legitimate martial arts training for years. Most Saiyans are more brawlers with some more advanced fighting styles. Vegeta has a more advanced fighting style, but he's still mostly a brawler. It took a while I'm just adjusting. It took a while for Vegeta to actually get any true style part, because he had that stance, but yeah, let's be honest, most Saiyans are brawlers. Again, with some exceptions. Goku, however, learned under actual martial artists. And Goku isn't pushing him a little bit, but again, he can't keep up. It's like, I don't know who you think you are, but I can't. I got a wife and 2 kids at home. Well, you have kids. Well, that was a long time ago. I think honestly, it's tough to remember these days. But anyway, I can't. I'm gonna have to reprimand you. And just as he's about to, he suddenly sensed the power uptick and just like, what the hell? It's like, he suddenly gets ragdolled, and he sees Goku there in his Ikari form. As the eyes yell, as like, I can't let you do that. I can't let you go. No matter what, I'm here. And there's nothing, and you're not going anywhere. And Bardock's scouter. I imagine Bardock's scouter probably would have broken at that point. If Rad's scouter could only hit around 21 before breaking, I don't imagine Bardock's even more outdated scouter really doing much. It's like, you, and he just starts getting asking about Goku. I can't. For Raditz. It's like, wait, Raditz? For Kakarot. And all of a sudden, the moon comes out. It's like, wait, you're Dad? And Bardock's barely hearing that. Bardock does hear this. Like, wait, Dad? And all of a sudden he sees him and transforms. Now Bardock would now be at 95,000, which would make him basically 3 times stronger than Goku. Now Goku has a speed advantage and a small body, but still, Bardock is now just blasting at him. They end up in a beam struggle. It's like, Dad, no! And it clash and ultimately ends with Goku back in the Pendulum room. It's like, well, Goku, are you okay? Uh, what happened? I met someone. It's like, Kami even comes as a warrior from a warrior, an ancient Saiyan warrior, no doubt. That's where we sent you. No, it's different. I think I met my dad. It's like, your father. You have to send me back. You're in no shape at the moment, Goku. Recover for a little bit, and then we'll go again. It's like, no, it's like, Goku. Sorry. And so, the next, I want to say month, is Goku constantly going back to that scenario and, constantly fighting Bardock, trying to overcome him, trying to talk to him, but getting nowhere. Finally, though, we hit a point where Goku, they clash, except this time Goku just is able to actually stop the blast and hold the blast back, only to come in and just take the tail off. And then Bardock is finally on the ground. Just, crap. Go ahead, finish it. I don't want to finish it, Dad. It's like, Dad? You gotta be kidding me. You're my, what are you, from the future or something? And, Goku's just like, kind of. And he kind of sits down and explains what's going on. He's like, so, I'm kind of just a figment of your imagination at this point, I guess. It's like, and he hears everything about Goku's life, all that, and they kind of actually share a laugh, something like that. It's like, why did you be like this? It's just the way Saiyans are, son. But Saiyans are, son. But I'm not gonna let what happened to us, or I'm not gonna let what happened to us happen to you. Trust me. It's like, well, of course, Dad. I'm here, aren't I? I guess that's true. And it's like, oh, it sounds like your time's up in here. Wait, up in here? Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling those guys made a little exception for me this time. I think they won this for you, son. And Goku's starting to fade. He's fading slowly though, as the pendulum room's starting to close. Like, why don't you know something? Despite the fact you might not be the same kind of warrior we were, I'm proud of you, son. Now give Vegeta and that bald bastard hell. It's like, Dad. It's like, did you learn what you needed to know? And Goku's kind of like, yeah, I did. Thanks, Kami. And so, Goku, with newfound resolve, having met his father, continues his training and putting double the effort in. Now, this leads us well past, now we're near the end of the year training skip, or time skip. All the Z fighters now have had more like a 10 times multiplier than, say, like the 6 to 8-ish. I think they're all within like a 10 times range. Although Chaozu, we still don't know what his base power was. But even numbers will say 800, which is well higher than what he was at. But Krillin, he's easily in like a 2,100, although it's like 2006 or 206 was power was. We'll say 2,100. Yamcha's hitting like an 1,800. Again, just doing even numbers. Tien, he's easily hitting now the 3,000 range. Goku, though. Goku is, if we're going by what his base was, 650, Goku has done a full 20 times on his power level. Like, Goku's power right now is actually really, because he's really been focusing on the Pendulum Room, training with others, and harnessing his Ikari form as well. Really tempering that down and just controlling the bits of rage. Basically getting like the true Super Saiyan form version of Ikari, if you will. And so if you do like the 20 times multiplier, you're looking at 13,000 for Goku's actual power level altogether. But there's one thing that, Goku still has. Like, how much time do we have left? About a week. Are you thinking are you planning to do what I think you're planning to do, Goku? Yeah, meeting my dad gave me the resolve to bring this up. And he brings up the Hype Dog Time Tour, where they can get a year's worth of training in a day. However, you can only go in there twice a lifetime, and he only recommends doing it once. He explains he tried it once, but failed and nearly died, so he's only got one time left. So basically, he just says Tien and Chaozu go in, Yamcha and Krillin, and then he's going to go in for his final one more time in there. So they all go in there. Tien, Chaozu, I think over another year's time in the 10 times gravity, Chaozu is actually able to get a legitimate multiplier this time around. About a 5 times. I think he's about even to Nappa. Tien gets easily a 10 times multiplier. Now, I say easily because you'd think with the 10 times gravity and the harsh conditions, it'd be a lot more. But remember, training with Chaozu, who's much weaker than him, is going to slow his progression down. Whereas with training with Goku, he was fighting a giant wall. Even Yamcha and Krillin were relatively on par with them. So I actually only see him getting like a 10 times multiplier, but you add that on, that was already existing 3,000, he's 30,000 now. They get out. Krillin and Yamcha both go in. They're much closer together in power, so they can actually legitimately train. You factor in training and the fact that we don't know if Krillin truly had more potential than Yamcha because we don't know what would have happened if Guru unlocked Yamcha's potential. But it's implied that Krillin probably does have a little bit more potential. So we'll go a full 20 times for Yamcha and 25 times for Krillin, who is already stronger than Yamcha anyway. But on a full 20 times, you're now looking at 34,000 for Yamcha. And on 25 times, you're now looking at, if you give me 1 second for the math on that, 40, 20, 42, and then you add another 11? No, 10, no, another 10.5. You're looking at 52,500 for Krillin. Let's round up for even 53,000 because those fives are always nuts. Then you get Goku going in and training hardcore in there, like actually going to town. He's got the discipline. He's got the know-how. And he's training with the Ikari, trying to tap into the primal nature of it all, just true, going beyond his limits. And he comes out, and his power is easily skyrocketed. Like, even though he had no one else to train with, he is easily in the times 20 times 13,000, which now puts him at 260,000. But there's more. Goku says that he has kind of picked up on something in the hyperbolic time chamber. Now, what that is, I'm not really going to reveal that right now because we'll maybe look at that later on when we talk about the Saiyans, because we're pretty much now nearing the end of the video. All I can say is it's not exactly Super Saiyan, but it's not Super Saiyan 4 either. I'll show off a bit more of what that is in the next part. But it's actually something a little different I'm doing with this style, because we are focusing on Ikari at the moment. I will say I don't see him hitting Super Saiyan off the bat, because even though there's the tingly back sensation, I always found that excuse dumb, but it's canon. But I don't think there's any catalyst for Super Saiyan right now. I don't think that right now. What I think is there's something else we can do with this. And it ties into Super Saiyan, but in a different way. Anywho, so they go, and then basically they sense Vegeta and Nappa coming. Well, Goku goes back to his house, says hi to Gohan and Chi-Chi. Spends the next couple days with them. They all relax, ready for the fight. Everyone's going to be sad that Gohan's not being a part of this, but remember, unless the specific what if is about Gohan being trained or whatever, about him being stronger, if Gohan doesn't get kidnapped by Piccolo, there is no logical reason unless you're trying to warp it to your desire, that Gohan would have become a major fighter in this, because that was all hinging on Piccolo in the main story. That was all hinging on Piccolo kidnapping him and training him. That's the facts. Because let's be honest, the kid was very cowardly. I mean, he was young. He was 4, for God's sake. The kid was very young, scaredy cat, all that. And it wasn't until Piccolo helped train him and help him survive and learn to, get some courage that he actually, developed and became a fighter. There's no scenario right now where that's the likelihood. But anyway, they're spending time there. They all meet up, and Piccolo's even there, and he can sense that they've all gotten stronger. They're all keeping their powers suppressed, which is, I didn't think about it until just now. I was just doing what I thought they would do. Piccolo's the second weakest now of this group. Had he decided to train with the group and gone to the hyperbolic time chamber, say with Goku, he could have gotten a hefty little boost. But no, I'm too cool for that. Screw these guys. Now I'm only stronger than the little clown doll. Basically. Because you have what? Tien at 30,000, Yamcha at 34, Krillin at 53, and Goku right now at 260. Oh man, Piccolo just got dwarfed. But that's not to say Piccolo might not be able to pick up later on in the series. Right now, though, he's just so in the dust. Anyway, thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. That's where we're going to leave off part 2. Now, the week of What If is coming, though. So we got 2 installments of this coming up next week. Until then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for win, stars, superhero magic, what if, anything to do at that point, anything I do in the channel, put that in the comments below as well. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I've got Pokemon team video tomorrow and box office report. Plus, I'm probably going to pre-record my who would win and what if for Monday. Actually, I may pre-record the next couple days tomorrow. So, anyway, that won't matter for tomorrow. Just look out for the Pokemon team video and the box office. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.